Hello. Thank you. So my theme is going to be on emerging technology in Indian construction industry. This is what BAI wanted. So we are in a situation where the whole world is changing from roughly about 6.1 billion to 9.3 billion in a 50 years time period. That means 610 crores to 930 crores over there. The top bracket is the developed countries on world population. Rich people, their population coming down from 1.2 billion to 1.1 billion. 120 crores down to 110 crores. But developing countries, the blue, they are increasing from 4.9 billion to 8.2 billion. That's where problem is. More housing, more construction, everything. So developed countries, things are population is increasing, whereas all the others populations come down in the developed world. Very, very important message to be told on that. And between three, China, India and Africa, all the 53 countries, we are about 1.4 billion plus or 140 crores plus. That's a very important dimension to be there for us to learn in a very large way, and all other parts of the world are covered in that particular one in terms of population trends which are there. India itself has gone from around 32 crores at independence level, and this 2021 we are at 2025, we are already about 1.4 crores, 1.42 crores or 140, that's for 145 crores there. But more important is India was living in the villages earlier, but is now urbanization is taking place in a large way. There is no more, India is now phenomenally changing, and I am working on the Kerala Urban Policy Commission. People are there from the Kila. They are now going to give a very interesting dimension as far as Kerala is concerned, not 40%. We are going to a level of 80% urbanization already in the next few years' time. We already crossed from 28% to 47% from 2011. 2001 to 2011, and for 2021 we are about 68%, and Kerala is going to be of the order of 80% urban. The first major state in the country where urbanization is taking a big way. There is a group called the Kerala Urban Policy Commission, and I have the pleasure of being a member of that. We are going to submit a final report in the next about 14 days time period by end of March. Just by the way, I thought that it's important because the type of problems that you have in these situations are going to be phenomenally large. But India is also, as morning I told over there, major transformation is taking place on the highways, modernization, upgradation of highways and road construction, and the very major one of 4 to 6 laning, 2 laning of 2,000 kilometer road and express highways in a very large way. Railway network, I'm happy Alex was there. The biggest modernization is taking place there. Railway engineers are making us very proud of the phenomenal amount of things. Not only railway network, high-speed trains, containers, transport 750 million tons of freight, and about 6.5 million people being moved by the rail, and about 5% growth in this particular. And all because railway construction is taking place in a very large way. Equally important is the civil aviation sector. Number of airports adding in a very large way on not only the passenger growth is by 20%. 200 new airports are going to come in this country, and that's going to be a major area. Port sector, 6,400 kilometers coastline, all the major ports are having. And all construction at the end of the day. Now, difficult construction, they are tough construction. Automobile port, very tough construction area on private and captive ports coming over there, and 20 more being added, about 90,000 metric tons of movement, and the National Maritime Development Program in a very large energy sector. Another major sector where construction people and electrical engineers are working together, and in terms of the power generation, in terms of all the towers, all the facilities that is done in this large way, including renewable energy. And our own sector, the urban development sector, the city level water supply, sanitation, sewerage, drainage, solid waste management, roads, flyover, bypasses, city transportation network, metro line, all these other major areas. And all this together is what I said, the last one for the Gati Shakti program of the government of India's larger 100 lakh crores of investment. Imagine this figure, 100 lakh crores of investment is coming from all these sectors put together, and that's what India is now. I'm talking about the 2015 to 2025 now. We are at that level. Gati Shakti is a very major initiative of the construction. So all of you people in the construction sector should be very happy and proud you are part of that particular development. And all this requires a lot of technology and a lot of money and also efficient way of practice there. So that's where the partnership with the private sector comes in a very large way of extended resources into the money coming, technology coming. You are no more going to deal construction the way we used to do 40, 50 years back. You get modern technologies of a large way and more importantly efficient project management, do it on time, cost and quality, a very important thing. You look at infrastructure of a large way, off-site and on-site. On-site when you say even a 100 acres or 200 site, internal roads, water supply, sewerage, drainage, power, communication. Off-site is going to be highway link, road link, water link, power link, common multi-modal transport, and these are going to be in a very large way on infrastructure development in a big sector. And construction is one of the most biggest growth engine. You all should be very proud of all the sectors coming over there, and they are contributing to over 10% of the GDP. And 1 crore of investment that you do is going to create 100 man years, not man days, 100 man years of employment. There were roughly 30 to 35% of between building materials component as well as the labor component added there. That's the figure that we have of so much. We have 5 crores of construction workers contributing to the sector, and employment of over 10 lakhs of engineers of all disciplines, over 250 industries, cement, steel, glass, aluminium, and the biggest sector. More construction means all these industries will get, and more important, building the nation for the additional 40 crores population between 100 crores to 140 crores, which is a very major opportunity for us to work on. And it's also time. Many people ask the question on safer construction. India is going through flood protection. Kerala has gone through the problem on that cyclone protection, earthquake. We are not so much worried earthquake, but the northern hill terrains of Himachal Pradesh, Uttarkashi, northeastern region, Gujarat, all these are earthquake one. Landslide is a very major problem. Sea erosion protected, tsunami protected. So resilience coming to it in a very large way, and that's the provisions of building code about which I very briefly was mentioned there. This is a 2016 version. I want everybody to understand that 2025 version is going to come out by September. We are in March now. By every day, one of those panels are meeting on the National Building Code 23 panel. Your own good friend Anil is part of a particular great initiative on working in this particular sector. And you'll have the 2025 covering structural safety, health safety, fire safety, construction safety, electric safety, environment safety, life safety and public safety. Which part of the National Building Code to cover are all identified there. It's going to be a wonderful document to cover. More important is the construction industry are getting geared up already. All leading construction entities are fully aware of every line clause, and you should see how in the panel discussions and the committee meeting, how they ask for every comma, full stop, colon, and they work on that, but it's so that the interest of the construction industry is taken care of in a very large way. And construction is vernacular system, conventional system, industrial system, and alternate system. Now, traditional using from a rural area to a small town, tier 2, to a big city that you have over there. You deal with traditional material like local mud, stone, lime, bamboo, timber on one side, and you go up the thing towards the urban. We are only dealing with cement, steel, glass, aluminium, concrete. So you have top professionals brought in. So we also intermediate option between this traditional and technological, and that's where the intermediate technologies and cost-effective technology, disaster-resistant technologies come into a very large way. So India is a country of large, there are 6.4 lakhs villages and about 9,800 cities and towns in a large way. You've got to deal with each one of those aspects, and the industry is going. One of your major problems that's coming over there is the way the prices are increasing. And it's a very important one. Contractors dealing with contracts over there, the cost of cement has gone, steel has gone, materials gone, labor gone, everything. And I have done a wonderful assessment here between wholesale price index as well as the building cost and average income of people. Can you believe that all your inflation bill, none of your construction materials are there. You talk of price of wheat, rice, milk, all those materials there. None of your 250 products are included the wholesale prices. Therefore, I come to the conclusion that cost of construction goes 50. What will be the inflation of your country? If it's 4% or 5%, your construction cost increases by 7.5%, 50% more than inflation. What will be the inflation level of your country? Construction costs are increasing at level which are 50% more than inflation. It's a very important aspect. because you have to cover that. So you want to do a project in the maybe 2025 to 2026, 27, next 2 years time period, keep that aspect in view. So the material price, etc. You can't do all the procurement all today. It never happens. You do it as the progress over the bulk thing like cement, steel, etc. You might do the bulk procurement. It's not always possible to deal with that particular thing in a large way. So you see the gap between the affordability, price index going, building cost index is going up, the incomes are only marginally going. So gap between people's income and cost of construction. So it's equally important the real estate development people. And I think Sunil briefly touched about that particular thing over there. The gap is increasing between everything, the product that you make over there is increasing. Maybe 1,000 rupees per square feet or 800 rupees per square feet over 20-25 years back has gone to 1,200, 1,300, 2,000 rupees per square feet construction, or many people want to do even 3,000 rupees per square feet per construction. So this is an affordable one for people. The income is not going up the same level. So it's a concerned area in a large way. Like we want strong, durable, functional, aesthetic, beautiful, and also energy efficient products. And also cost-effective material and tech. These are the type of things which are very, very important, not easy to do. Life cycle is the big buzz message. You can't build a thing and at least till the loan is repaid, you should be there. Many people, I take a loan for about 20 years. The building should last 20 years. No, that's not the situation. Your building should stand at least 75 years to 100 years. Life cycle of a building is that. What is going to be the, and for that the durability component comes. You'll be surprised, all the codes of cement, concrete are no more on the strength of the concrete. So the durability of the concrete. The whole thrust has gone into how long it will stand over there. Will it have 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 40 years, 100 years. Between structural, non-structural finish and other material. So, because an important component of durability in a very large way. So, now, your building blocks will undergo change. Like, for example, somebody said, I don't get sand for building material and I get so many problems over there. So, the new products will be changing from what you did in 1940s, 50s, 60s. Your new building blocks for the next 20 years time period, you're using a lot of agriculture. Fly ash from thermal power station, phosphorus from fertilizer factory, red mud from aluminum factory, blast furnace slag from steel plant, limestone quarry, lime sludge. How you can convert that into new building material product? Again, the sources are there. So you have a large number of new products which are coming in the market to deal with this particular one in a large way. And so also the agricultural waste of rice hulls, bagasse, banana leaves, coconut husk, groundnut shell, jute stick, cinder, and you can get a lot of new products coming which are identified. So that means the new building blocks which are there are not the same building blocks with which you are dealing. And I'm very happy, many departments, CPWD, MES, railways, they're already geared to that. They're already using that as your schedule of rates and your specifications of works. Already they've rewritten the document with the new products and new material. That same area we are not been doing an update in this particular area in a very large way. And large number of, I do remember one of my own project site there, how the only stone available, how we could convert that particular thing into not only commercial plant we put on the site there, I could get the M1, M2, sand, including the stone for the various aggregate. So a large number of people are already undergoing. So M1 is an important component of making from the M sand. You already have M sand for construction, M sand for plaster. There are different type of materials are available, and people already hear all over the world. It's a problem. Sand as a material for river sand, you will have a problem of getting that. So how do you deal with that? Now technologies are changing in large. High performance concrete, self-compacting concrete, high volume fly ash concrete, high performance lightweight aggregate, self-curing shrinkage-free concrete. So when you talk of concrete, no more the 1, 2, 4 and 1, 1.5, 3 alone that is being talked about. You can see the all the technologies in which you are working. Are you aware that you are no more dealing with M30 or M40 or M50 or M80? Are you aware that you are in India, M160 has already been made now. Unitech has already, Ultratech has already made that particular component M160 concrete there. So concrete is also undergoing a phenomenal amount of change in strength of concrete for durability point. So can you imagine how many of the contracting teams are aware that your conventional 1, 1.5, 3 or 1, 2, 4 mixed being done over there local level, the big construction entities in the country today in India, they are already dealing with this. Many interesting projects. under that particular Gati Shakti program are using all these things. So it is no more what is available abroad. They are already started being using in a very large way. Or recycled aggregate, lightweight aggregate, corrosion inhibitors for reinforcement, very major problem. So reinforcement should not get corroded. How do you put the corrosion inhibitors, the reinforcement? Especially undersea and water level, ground level will be putting below the ground. The sulfate attack should not be there. So all those are advanced composite reinforcement and including nanotechnology in a large way. These are all the emerging areas. Very rightly talked about, RK talked in terms of formwork. Can you believe we are no more the way these are all the new formworks having the different bamboo. Joka, Peri, Rekli, Destil, Meva, Cometal, Destil, Pascal, Bivan. How many are using this? Maybe 5% of India's construction industry is doing that. 5%? So good stuff. So maybe Maiwa to some extent aluminium is being done. But this is the way the whole world is already changing. If they are able to do your form of material no more the way in which it is done there. Imagine your capability as a good construction engineer depends upon whatever capacities you have to deal with a particular thing in a very large way. Or the climbing platform for external plastering, painting, tiling, glassing, rope suspended cradles and platforms to be done. Innovative engineering construction equipment to be done for our infrastructure project. And for that you require all those equipments available at the local level. The increasing level of mechanization is coming at the construction site to deal with good productivity and efficiency. And of course, you require a lot of operators to deal with that. It's not machine alone. Even if you get those machines, you get those operators to deal with that. They are not like masons, carpenter, or barber, or plumber, or electrician. They are operators of the construction equipment. That requires a different type of skill set. You know what I'm trying to say? Large number of machinery manufacturers are dealing with that particular sector also. And of course, you don't have to buy everything. Now, large number of leasing options are available because especially contractors are very keen to know why should I invest so much amount of capital cost on all this modern equipment when I can just need it only for maybe the 2-year time period of this work. I can only about 3 months or 6 months that particular equipment. So now these are available through leasing options and financing also available for that equipment also to be made available. Now, prefabricated construction is a very major component of fabricating large number of things earlier, like engineering manufacture. They don't do everything inside. They have good processes involved there in terms of quality assured, time 30 to 40% time saving, like the example which RK told about there. Less different, large labor force needed for conventional one, large working periods, definitely periods when no construction takes place in most part of the country, about 3 months, 6 months are non-working period there. So due to monsoon, various other things, how do you deal with that? Scaffolding and following installation, because you do that at the level there. And progress system of open system to closed system, that's a level of prefabrication of higher efficiency coming over there. And partial precast element to full industrial system is coming already. That is the 3 or 4 levels of technologies to be adopted in a large way. Now, all this will really bring you to item that your regulatory framework should cover for energy, environment. Now it's coming important. It was not the consideration of any civil engineer or any construction people or a structural engineer. Because of the sustainability element has come, you have to achieve the net zero carbon by 2050 or 2070. How does it come? Because when you produce cement, when you produce steel, when you produce bricks at the site, a large amount of carbon dioxide is coming. A lot of energy is being consumed to produce that. A lot of energy is there to produce that. So that means effectively what they are saying is construction industry is a big challenge. How do you deal with that? If I can't use cement and steel, what will I use then? If I can't use bricks, what will I use? I know I can't go back to mud and bamboo and lime over, which I showed earlier, how they do that. You have to deal on the other side of the particular one. So this is a very major issue that's coming over there. It's called the embodied energy of building materials. How many people in the room have heard embodied energy of building materials? Embodied energy. Raise hands. 1, 2, 3, 4. Over there 5, 7. Not good enough. Only 7 people have heard the word embodied. That is the amount of energy that's going into the building block. Your walling material, structural material, roofing material, construction process, they are now going to ask all over the world. When you say I am going to achieve net zero carbon by 2050, European countries in America and Canada are trying, how are you going to use that particularly on building construction industry. It means a lot. That means you got to use material with less and less of energy cost coming in the production of material, not in the actual construction process, the very basic material itself. So that's going to be the latest challenge coming. We are not woken up to that. Most of the people have not even heard this word, embodied energy of building material. So you got to get geared up to deal with that particular one in a very large way. Just try to put that particular idea into how much is embodied energy, how is the operational carbon. You can design this wonderful building with energy efficiency of LED lamp, good air conditioning system which is energy efficient. That's all operational energy. But embodied energy component, we have never even touched it. But that's what is happening all over US, in Canada, in Europe, including China. Embodied energy is what they are working on, how to really bring that in a very large way. And what are the type of developments coming in the sector? I try to indicate. That word net zero I put at the bottom of the particularly. The green building was a big word earlier, but now everybody knows what a green building is. From green building, green built environment. Not only one building to be green, but the whole neighborhood should be fine. Building and infrastructure. Then the last one is net zero water. Very important construction sector. Net zero water, net zero energy, net zero waste, and net zero carbon. These are all new words which are coming in the suddenly popping up in the mind. How many of us, 10 lakh civil engineers and construction contractors, ever heard of net zero? Very difficult. So whatever that's where the changes will come. Will come in such a rapidity over there. The commitments are already being given. All 193 countries. Where is say India will do by 2070. We only taken 20 years time period for us to get prepared to deal with that. These are 2050 or 2070 like China has done, or Saudi has done, or Vietnam has done in this particular sector. Now, large new products are coming over there. A conventional cement, how much is required? The green cement word is coming over there. So, what are the new products coming in there with the amount of kg coming in? What is the reduction in carbon? See, suddenly you find that if you know the strength and durability, how much is the CO2 reduction, emission reduction coming over there in the product? That question is going to be asked. If you are going to have, you will surprise and shock, in Europe, the hot consumption that's going over there, you got to give at the end of the day how many kilograms of carbon dioxide reduction is coming in your consumption project there. Can you believe? Today we are doing around 1,200 to 2,000 kilogram per square meter of consumption. That is the amount of steel, cement, glass, aluminium, everything that you use over there, they'll find out of CO2 content based on that, and that's where the whole thing is now being taken, reduction coming on there. They are ready to make it up to, I think, about 700 kg per meter square from the 2011 to 7. Can you believe a major transformation is taking place all over the world in this particular area? Now, cement and steel comprise around 50% of total cost of the material, so that even the TMT bars also going under a very major change. The production processes in the cement manufacturing sector are going, and Indian cement industry is doing extremely well. Among the world's cement industries, Indian cement industries have got the maximum amount of energy efficiency. I thought you should all be happy and proud that your carbon component in the production level has coming down. So also in the production of the steel in a very large way through various types of technology improvement coming in the sector. Pervious concrete is another major area. I'm giving you some of the material component or the green construction material admixtures. Admixtures is a very major area on performance enhancement in a large way. Then your conventional material, cement, steel, what are the admixtures that you use for enhancing the durability of the concrete, impervious concrete to be done. Without those admixtures, we had some amount of durability coming. With good admixtures being added, you'll be surprised. Today in Germany, if you want to do the concrete, it is no more the 4 items of cement, sand, and aggregate and the 4. They put 13 items being it. The remaining 9 items are all these performance enhancers. Performance enhancement is the word that's coming over there. Or it will come not only in admixtures, adhesives, grouts, protective coatings. The building has to stand Anil also mentioned waterproofing, a major concern area. Building might be strong on column and beam, but we are extremely poor. Extremely poor. Wherever wet core area, a toilet, or wherever water related one, as Kalamji said one over there, an area where we are extremely the tallest building I can do, the longest span I can do, but where I fail miserably, soakage, leakage, wettage, warpage, where all the wet area, we are not done that particular want perfection on that. So that's an area equally an important one which is going to be working on. So the products are available on as it is construction material, how much is the new component coming. Now another major component is going to be construction and demolition waste. Now C&D waste is going to be a very major one. There are a lot of demolition taking place, all the construction waste coming. Godrej has come in a very large way in Vikhroli to take only all the demolition material and convert them into new building products. C&D waste is going to be a very major area where we will be working on agricultural product, all this coming over. Then another one is the embodied building materials from dredged cement, autoclave block, ready-mix concrete, float glass, steel TMT bar. How much is the value on embodied, they call the eco-label products which are coming over there? Of how much reduction is coming for carbon dioxide plus metric ton. And you see the whole message is on CO2 reduction in a large way. Now, just carbon footprint, recycled material, whatever difference can come in that is also identified discharge. We'll open up as and when we discuss on that. So, all these require a lot of awareness. Everybody should know these are the new emerging things, but if you are already aware of it, if you have not heard of it, 7 people raise hand. So, how can 7 be converted to maybe 200 people in this room over there? Second one is to have an appreciation that these are necessary. Not only know it is there, they should have a good appreciation of what is it making them the impact over there. And the third one is going to be application. How am I going to do it at my site? Not only is that I should know it, I should know it's good, why it's good, and then how are you going to make it happen in your construction industry in a very large way. That's where education, engineering and enforcement becomes an important component, and trust is at the level of not only in the colleges, but also in your site there, engineering processes there, and how do you enforce that in the situation there. That's where we want a techno financing. The bankers can ask the money before I'll give money, provided you're able to ensure this. The techno financing regime, the bankers can be large. They're already increasing. Not in India, it's not happening in India so much, but all over the world, if it's not a sustainable practice, sorry, I won't give you money. They say, not a sustainable practice, no money. Then you come back, rework it, I'll then consider large funding to come out there. So, durable construction and delivery is very, very important. I did talk about the mason, carpenter, barber. There are 65 trades available in the country dealing with construction. 5 crores of construction workers, 65 trades are there. Mason, carpenter, barber, plumber, electrician, painter, glass layer, tile layer, floor layer, etc. Blah, blah, blah. So, what are we doing to take care of their capacity to be improved? Has anybody thought of that? Now, this can't happen in a university or a college, engineering or even a polytechnic, even IITs can't do that. So you got a level which is below that. We're dealing with we got illiterate and semi-literate people. We got hands-on experience with how to do and how not to do. That's the type of training that needs to be done, and the major potential skill development. We are putting all at the level of construction managers and all that, but not at that particular level of. According to me, all the training centers are consistent, all put together. ECC, last minute bureau, wherever country traders, we have not trained more than 10 lakhs people. 5 crores is 500 lakhs. 10 lakhs is all the trained certified people, all the training is done. So look at the gap between 10 lakhs and 490 lakhs untrained. So that's going to be a major area which we have to work on in a large way. And another major thing is going to be your team, your construction team and your site. How do you deal with the whole training of your supervisors or your managers, rightly raised by one of the gentlemen in the panel discussion. It's a very major concern. You won't get people to stand aside to get it delivered there. This is a major area. You might have construction management there, but construction delivery over there, how to supervise and say this is the right way to do or wrong way to do it, tell the contractor or even for the contractors people also. So that's an area where a lot of things are to be done. Not only construction costs, which is capex, operating cost. How do you maintain those buildings 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, 20 years down the line, 30 years down the line, 50 years down the line. So now the new message is coming is called assets and facility management. For structural, non-structural, finishing and service item, how will you deal with that? That's going to be a very major area. Unfortunately, many may not know it. NBC Park has already added that. First time we have done that of that particular concern in a very large way. And I told you about morning 9,000 or 14,000 or 18,000. Those construction workers, you have a good team. That's called the IMS, Integrated Management System. Those construction entities contractors, if there are good systems available, they follow in terms of the quality issues on 9001 and also EHS to deal with 14001 and occupational health safety in terms of the real, so that is zero accidents take place, right protection. It doesn't cost, as rightly brought out by sir, it has a cost. When you want to do all that, you got to be, please add that. I will not do it. I will add that particular thing. Maybe with respect to your specifications on that, if this is the tender, I will make it L plus 1%, 2%, whatever. You'll have, but that's what really makes it. The commitment is needed in a very large. If you do all that, you are leading to a nation in dealing with efficiency, economy, and productivity. That's a key word at the end of it. So that's what you need. You got to get geared up in terms of the new products of building material, new consistent practices, new capability in terms of construction management issue, and also the real supervision related issue, which will make all of us as much better so that we deliver. So that we don't get a bad name. The civil engineering construction contracts are not particularly getting the right place. What an American contractor gets or a German contractor gets that. I'm sure you'll be able to, all of you who know that environment. Take my word, a good plumbing contractor in America or in Germany or in France are taken much larger because at the end of the day producing the product there. We don't have the same respectability coming over there. You know, they're all looked as contractors. No, it's a construction entity that comes over there. So we should have a sense of pride that I built that. You know what I'm trying to say? I'm not trying to exaggerate. 60 years back, I still remember think of medical product. I'm not able. Even now when I go to the road, I want to see how the anatomy block was done. Kurian was a contractor and he did a wonderful job. Even now when you go there, that anatomy block, which is there, I just saw it about last week when I visited Gindi over there, I saw that. I have a sense of pride. I told you, Purpose ratings, construction quality assessment system rating system, which is available to you. We don't have anything like that. Each one copies the other one, not for lowering the cost, but enhancing quality and durability. We don't have that. We got to bring that particular thing to give recognition. I give the award to the ABC company, CD company or XYZ company because their particular thing on construction quality assessment, they are better. You know what I'm trying? We got to bring that. That's what will really make Singapore a good system. Please look into CONQA, Construction Quality Assessment Systems Rating. Primarily at the construction entity in a very large way. What I will do is stop now. Intentionally I went fast, so I can take around, I'm still much within the time of 45 minutes. Maybe about 5 to 10 questions I can take. I can give rapid fire reply the next day. How many want to raise questions? Please raise your hand. How many want to raise questions? Yeah, one. Please. Somebody started already. Can you give a mic to him? I'm sure they'll come. Ask your question and give the reply. Getting your all construction entities equipped to deal with the nature of challenges there in terms of technology application, technology assimilation, and using the latest technology options. Okay, please. Your name first.
My name is Arjun. I'm the Director and CEO of BAI Developers. My question is that, while all of us want to do better sustainable green construction, India being a very cost-effective and very cost-conscious market, my first question is, by adopting such green technologies, what is the per square feet rate increase, if at all, that will happen? And secondly, are there any steps taken at the policy level to support adoption of green technologies in construction by supporting developers in terms of any tax incentives or additional FAR or any such schemes that you can, enlighten us with?
They got a chief sustainability officer in large number of good construction entities, but it's state. What I'm trying to say, who are competing with international companies to deal with the project there. Railways, metros, and all, they won't even permit. I'm sure you clarify that situation on how they were trying to do that. So the adoption is increasingly coming over there, but departments will do that. But the nature of contractors associated with that, they should also be geared up to deal with that. Special programs we organize by the industry, builders association or construction industry development council, various people will deal with that particularly. That's a right way to do that. But there's no the Tina factor, there's no alternative. You got to do that because it's all coming. It's all a matter of time. I don't want to use it's primarily to save in respect of water, energy, waste to be looked after, carbon footprint reduction. At the end of it, that's a purpose for which all is being done. It's not fashionable to do green technology. You rightly said it. There's no other alternate to deal with that.
He was talking about some per square foot cost.
Okay.
How much is going to be?
Okay. I want to give an answer straight away. It does not increase the cost at all. I don't have the time to deal with that. Maybe 2001 when the green building movement started here in India, in 1990 it started in UK, Priam, and 1995 it started USGBC in UK. India started the IGBC in 2000 and Graha started in 2007. Initially it was all available of the order of maybe around 10 to 25% more, 10 to 15% more. But can you believe by 2010, by 2020, today in 2025, it came down to 4% because larger products came over there. Green products got into the market at prices which are appropriately sized in terms of air conditioning system, lighting system, everything have undergone change there. Today, a good green building component, the cost is marginal or maximum commercial building maybe 1%, 2%, nothing to worry because that is the capital cost. But by the time you run the building, if I have continuously on day-to-day basis, if I have so much water being saved, 30 to 40%. 40% of energy being saved. So water saving costs, energy saving costs, and overall environment quality being improved over there, you find in less than about 1 year's time period, the small little increase is already made up. You know what I'm trying to say? So that's why the clients are now insisting. Clients, not that the builder or developer wants it. The client saying, is that the green product? Then I'll take your office space. All big companies. Ramkrishna will tell. Their best clients.
I'll tell you exactly. I'll tell you. If you can able to consider about rupees 50 rupees per square foot, you can able to get into the gold certification. If that you increase to about 75 to 80 rupees per square foot, you can get into a platinum. Now, if at all you build and you sell it, then you know what Mr. Suresh is talking about, the further period of water saving electricity you may not enjoy. But if you can able to consider about between 50 to 75 rupees per square foot, you can deliver a platinum building which you can deliver.
Brilliant. And thank you very much for the clarification. And you know that's because it's not that one-to-one, it's not one-to-one alternate. You would not have done wastewater recycling earlier, but you were saying you should do that. You know what I'm trying to say? Primary, secondary, and tertiary treatment, recycled water to use back for flushing purposes. You never did that. You thought all the grey water and the black water should go out somewhere, but you'll take it out. Now, we ask you to do that. Energy saving aspect, you got renewable energy component to be added. So these are the additional components that you add there for integrated water management, integrated energy management, integrated waste management, because you put that particular thing over there, which you never did earlier. It's nothing being done, there's something to be done for that. That's what's making the additional cost. Thanks for the clarification.
See, the skill area, which is a very, very grey from the government point of view. Today, it is very, very difficult to attract blue-collar jobs for the skill. The simple reason is the structure which has been developed in the wherever various agencies and all that, like it is not taken. If you can able to influence and if you can able to create somebody who is actually in the construction industry, who can come out and form a committee and they can able to work out the entire the scheme of things and all that, like I think that will help the industry in the near future.
There's some progress is there, Ramkrishnan. I'm sure you must be aware being in the industry, because the National Skill Development Council, after this Prime Minister came, this big initiative came, and there is a separate group. There are 41 groups. This skill is required not only construction sector, you require economic development, so many manufacturing level, that level. So in construction cell, there is what called Construction Skill Development Council, separately there. They identified some area. Plumbing related one, somebody has done. Air conditioning related one, some group have done on that. So they are really working out some of those areas. For example, the CREDAI is the Confederation of Real Estate Developers Association of India, like Naredco. They are currently in Pune, a wonderful initiative. They got even about 5 crores of grant from the NSDC. All the workers at the site. Instead of taking them to a training center on what do you call PowerPoint presentation, they've got into at the site level in everyday program about a 1 hour or 2 hour period to train on the site how to improve that particular productivity, efficiency, new technologies, emerging area. The same workers, you can't get new people. Otherwise, you ask them to go to a training center. Can you believe they have been able to train now in the Pune and neighboring area around roughly 150,000, 1.5 lakhs of construction workers of 38 builders and developers have been trained under that. So there are just good hope happening. But you have to scale it up in a very large.
Sir, I'm aware of NSD.
You are aware of this.
And I'm aware of upskilling in the sites. But I'll tell you, tiling you cannot teach in a classroom. Tiling has to be taught it's in the ground. I mean, somebody has to lay the tiling.
How to lay it properly.
The moment when he comes out of the training institute, if I give a tile, you should tile properly.
Absolutely.
So this is a gap. Unfortunately, what has happened is a lot of money is getting spent, but unfortunately, it is not spending in the right forum, right area. NSDC is taking a lot of initiative, but unfortunately, it is not reaching to the ground. This upskilling.
BA also taken some good initiative.
Upskilling is a complete namke vaste. Nothing is happening. Contractor doesn't want to spare 2 hours of the labor to do the training. Correctly so, because he is paying for that money, he is not doing. I think this framework has to be looked at it differently. I think it's differently going to discuss in December.
This is the way you put conditionality in your contract. Only, I told you, Indian contract documents does not talk one word about trained, skilled workers only to be used. Like Singapore has done, Malaysia has done, Korea has done, Thailand has done, already Philippines has done. Even our neighboring Singapore, Sri Lanka has done that. The day that happens over there, you create the demand, supply will come automatically. You will not create the demand. Our contract documents are so badly laid, you have not put the conditions. That's because industry has not geared up to deal with that particular. That's why you face the approach of, like Chandron, even now he is told, 3 days back he made the statement in Vijayawada. I do 10%, 20%, in a 5 years time it will come to 25% of the workers at the site are going to be skilled and trained. If he insists that, automatically the changeover will take place. We have to work together, it's not an area easy one. Yes, sir.
So you are, again I'm saying, you are in the corridors of power. Last 50 years I'm seeing construction. But unless we have a ministry for construction.
Yeah.
So like all the developed countries you mentioned, they have a ministry for construction and a minister who's knowledgeable in this. So many things that we are talking here and other forums cannot be handled by urban ministry or other ministries. This is my opinion. We should all work towards a ministry.
I'll give an answer to that. Today, construction is looked after by various ministries. Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, in which CPW is there. Ministry of Defence, where ME is there. Ministry of Railways, where railway construction is looked after. Multi-purpose rural projects dealing with all the dam and irrigation projects are being looked after. Ministry of Communication dealing with all the power, dealing with all the electrical power, which all sector I showed you over there. But that is where, because that is not happening in the, that's why the new Niti Aayog, the earlier planning commission, they decided to have the Construction Industries Development Council, and the body which watches that is under the Niti Aayog. Niti Aayog is now coordinating that because they know it's not happened there. It's not only here. In all the states also similar problem. What PWD does, what PHED does, what the road people do, highways people do. There are different type of departments where the engineers are there. They are not one particular department dealer. I agree with you. China has done that. Russia has done that. All the European countries, even Germany has done that. They have a separate Construction Development Bank. Can you believe the Construction Development Bank of China is the biggest banker anywhere in the world? Because they give for equipment, machinery, construction industry is taken up, all the training and all the thing on the look. I agree with that particular one over there. It will happen over a period of time. The need for it is well. We have made small steps, baby steps if I may use the word, by doing that under the Niti Aayog. Some common areas are being talked about. Nobody wants to leave their own area. The PWD doesn't want to leave it. The MES don't want, railways don't want, railway staff is already there. So they won't be feel we are doing a wonderful job. See, airports people feel I'm the National Highway Authority, Airports Authority of India. Each one is a law unto themselves. A good law, nothing wrong in that. So that's the situation that you have. Any more? Yes.
They have said that in the last 15 years, additional units of 3 lakh units were built in Kerala.
Yeah.
In which
Under life project.
No, I'm not saying about the life.
Life alone. Even middle income and high income housing.
Yeah, in Kerala, in total Kerala, at least 3 lakh additional units were built every year.
Yeah.
From 2011 to 2024.
Yeah.
It says that, and in that, 80% of the buildings that were constructed were in the residential sector.
Yeah.
So, if you tally that, we can say that 75% of the total households in Kerala got a new house in the last 15 years. And also the government says that about 15 lakh houses are left vacant. So do you think there is a housing bubble that is coming up in our near future?
No, it only shows. I'll give an answer. So, very good observation. That means the number of houses that you have today is more than the number of households or families here. That's because large number of people in the middle income and high income group take as an investment opportunity. They are not one house, they are 2 houses or 3 houses, but most of them will see only one house or in none of the houses because they already are either in the Middle East or in America or London or some economies where they're able to invest into real estate in a very large. That is why to stop that, I don't know whether I should be telling it openly, we brought in the component of vacant house tax and vacant land tax. Large number of people take this particular thing, build it, not to be used, and lot of cement, lot of national wealth is already put into that. We are not utilizing that. So to put a small little deterrent to that particular thing, even the national in the Kerala Urban Policy Commission document, they are going to come up with somebody. And can we take a limit, not to build the type of mansions of 5,000 square feet, 10,000 square feet, put an ostentatious building beyond a certain one, you will have some amount of taxation be brought in. If it's a vacant house or vacant land tax, the city can get. Otherwise, you find, you go to, I'm sure, your city, Cochin, large on your apartment, the light will be there only on the 10th floor, one window there, or maybe 4th floor, remaining all dark. That is, they are not there. Houses are there in the best prime land, not happening. Anthony, your question is very right. You can't stop that. You created that particular product there, but not for actually use over there. That's not good. That's not good at all. So therefore, we should get to rental housing in a large way, the ownership housing. So the same thing, you would have a rental housing market. 60% of all the housing in Europe are rental housing. That is institutional rental house. Not, I build my house, I give it on rent. That's India model. I build my house, apartment, I give it on rent to somebody. But whereas companies and developers themselves bring rental housing in a very large way, they give it as they take care of maintenance rightly, they also get annual increment for rents in a large way. Otherwise, normally it's a rental housing, once you give a house on rent, you won't get it back. All type of old laws there. So you got to really get to the progressive way of rental housing to be created, so the houses created don't remain vacant. But another thing is, possibly you should vacant building tax or vacant land tax is another way. Ostentatious housing beyond 3,000 square feet or 4,000 square feet, bring a tax or something like that. These are the type of things that we can possibly think in the Indian context over there. Thank you very much. My presentation can be shared with everybody. Kindly give it to everybody. Thank you.
Thank you so much.